Good evening, Millbrook families. My name is Alicia O'Connell. For those of you who don't know me, I am the Elm Drive principal. I am extremely excited for our second Family University presentation on the social emotional learning and what that looks like within Elm Drive Elementary. First of all, when I talk about what social emotional learning is, I want to speak to the educational method that aims to foster social and emotional learning within our school curricula. So a little bit more about me. My background has been in implementing a multi-tiered system of support framework within schools. So with that knowledge, one of the key pillars and components of MTSS is social and emotional learning. Therefore, I know how essential it is for the well-being of the school, for the culture and the feeling within the school. So that being said, let's go to our next slide.
While we're waiting to move on to our next slide, I have introduced myself at our middle school, Family University, a few months back, and I'm happy to be a participant attending as a presenter with Alicia today, especially being that my role as a supervisor of student services is to support social emotional learning within our district. So I am very excited to be a part of tonight's Family U.
Yes, and thank you, Samantha, for joining me. Okay, so how are you feeling? So this is our mood meter. This is something that we'll talk more about later, but this is a component and tool that's featured in our ruler curriculum. So right now, I'm going to plot myself as feeling thrilled because I am extremely excited to be here presenting to everyone the ways in which we support social emotional learning. Since it is something that I'm passionate about, I'm extremely thrilled to be able to share all of that with you all. What about you, Ms. Goldsberg?
I would plot myself in the yellow zone for lively, as I'm very excited to be a participant here today with Alicia O'Connell and to continue to do some great work here in the Brook Central School District in regards to social emotional learning.
Thank you. Would you like to share?
Sure.
Mr. Garcia.
I'm optimistic and inspired. I'm also in that yellow group. I'm just very excited to be working with our administrative team in these endeavors, and happy to be here to support and see it come to fruition.
Awesome, wonderful. So why social emotional learning matters? So this slide really resonated with me because I think it's really important to look at these numbers when we talk about social emotional learning. Research shows that schools that have social emotional learning programs within their curriculum have increased student behaviors. It helps foster more positive relationships, and they're directly linked to an increase in academic gains. So 83% of students make academic gains when participating in an SEL program with an academic component. That percentage really spoke to me, as well as the 11% average increase in the GPA for participants in an SEL program. So where does social emotional learning begin each day at Elm? This is a question that when I ask myself, I really feel as though, yes, I work very closely as a team with my teachers. We all help create a climate and mood and culture in which all students feel supported social emotionally, and building relationships is important for all of us. Although I think one of my goals as an administrator every day is to make sure that no matter how busy I am there to greet kids as they walk through the door, because I want them to know that they are important to me. I like to call each student by name. when they arrive each day, I just feel as though it's essential that I am, there to say, hey, happy Monday, Colin, how are you? I'm so glad you're here. I want them to see how excited I am for them to be in this building. And sometimes, say things like, are you gonna rock this Tuesday? And they laugh at me and they think it's silly, but then I also know that they're internalizing it and it helps to see that smile on their face. So building those relationships with the students each day, and then also having them enter the hallways and the classrooms with a smile on their face. And that also allows me a time to see students who are coming into the building who may not have a smile on their face. And having that time to make connections with them and try and get a feel for their mood and where they might be, and helping them get to a place that I would like for them to be. So that being said, when we talk about the mood meter, this is part of our Ruler curriculum. So Ruler is created by the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence. And for those of you who have participated in the Family U event held by the middle school, Mr. Cabello, I apologize, but for those of you who are new today, I would like for you to see this brief overview of the 5 components of the Ruler curriculum and the key skills. Yeah. To click on. Thank you. No.
One second, we'll be right. Just going to drop the screen share for a moment.
Oh, perfect. Yay. Okay. Yes. Sorry about that.
Well, different kids, different students have different emotions. When they come out of the room upset, I just take a walk with them. And when they're ready to speak, they'll speak to me and let me know what's going on.
When your friend's feeling sad, maybe you should give them space, try to cheer them up. And if they're getting bullied, maybe you should stand up for them.
We have to teach kids to understand that it's okay to say, this is what makes me feel upset. I don't like to feel this way, and I want to feel different.
Where there's disputes with kids, sometimes adults, and if I go into the situation and I'm already maybe hostile, upset, or ready to point a finger, it really is going to affect the way that I see it and the outcome.
So what are you noticing?
That I regulate myself first before I go into something. I do my own little self-check-in.
Well, I didn't learn a lot about emotions and why they mattered in school or at home. I was very fortunate as a teenager to have an uncle who happened to be developing a program on emotional intelligence, who asked me a simple question. He said, "Mark, how are you feeling?" And he did something unique. He really listened. And not only did he listen, but he offered me strategies on how I could manage my emotions effectively. And today, we use the acronym RULER to describe the 5 key skills of emotional intelligence. The first skill is recognizing emotions, paying attention to the cues in our bodies and our thoughts, paying attention to other people's facial expressions, body language, and listening to their vocal tones. The second skill is understanding emotion, knowing the causes and the consequences of different emotions. For example, anger is often caused by perceived injustice, and joy is about reaching a goal. The third skill is labeling emotions, having a nuanced vocabulary to differentiate our emotional lives. So am I down? Am I disappointed? Am I hopeless? Or am I calm, content, tranquil, or peaceful? The fourth skill is expressing emotions, knowing how and when to express emotions across contexts and even cultural differences. And finally, the fifth skill of emotional intelligence is regulating emotions, having strategies that are helpful to manage our own emotions, as well as strategies that we can use to help other people manage theirs.
Okay, so in that overview, we went over the acronym of RULER and the different components and the 5 key skills that we focus on. That is something that we have begun implementing in Elm Drive. It looks differently in different grade levels and different classrooms right now, but I am very excited to share with you one of the essential tools in the RULER curriculum is that mood meter that we spoke to at the beginning. So at this point, all of the students within Elm, I feel confident in saying they're all familiar with the mood meter. It does look different, again, based on the different levels and making sure that it's age appropriate. Some of the older classrooms have, the words, the different feeling words and the vocabulary within each quadrant, whereas at the younger level, where they may not be able to necessarily read those words right now, they have pictures of what those emotions look like in each quadrant. So this display that you see pictured here is now it's one of the bulletin boards when you first enter the hallway within Elm. And this is also where I greet the kids every morning. So not only do I greet them in the morning, but sometimes we'll just say, hey, where are you right now? What are you feeling? What quadrant are you in? And they'll point, and it's just nice for them to see this when they first walk in the building, because I think that they're able to connect this with that being in the classroom and know that it is an important tool that we're really focusing on. You will also see one of the mood meters in the actual classrooms right now. That is a picture of one of our first grade classrooms. Yes, okay, just making sure. So you'll see some of those kids have plotted where they are, but I also have a little introduction of what that actually looks like in action. After this slide. So it's also important to know that when we talk about recognizing our emotions and being able to plot them on the mood meter, the students are then able to start thinking about emotions and seeing them, seeing what they look like. So in this great picture, this actually just took place today. This is one of our kindergarten classrooms where they're learning the emotion frustration. And you can see she's kind of furrowing her eyebrows, and it's pretty incredible when I hear these little guys talk about furrowing and knowing that vocabulary word. But we're talking about the body language that we see in others that show frustration. Perhaps their hands are on their hips or their arms are crossed, or we also look at recognizing those in the books that we read. So in this picture, you'll see kids are actually exploring through picture walks the different texts that they have in their classroom, and they are putting Post-its where they see characters who are frustrated. So in the one picture, you will see the pigeon book. If you have a child in Elm Drive, there's no doubt in my mind you've read some of the Mo Willems pigeon books, which are phenomenal when we talk about different feelings, because so much of the book is taught through, you see so much in the feelings of the characters. So it helps make connections, and it helps build on that comprehension by learning to recognize those feelings through characters and stories, and also seeing what that looks like in yourself. So we have amazing things going on social emotionally with our ruler curriculum, and I did want to play for you a few snippets of some of the ruler, like what a ruler lesson might look like, what an SEL learning lesson might look like in one of our kindergarten classrooms. Will I be able to play the first one?
Hi, everyone. Hi. So in our classroom, we talk a lot about our feelings and our emotions. And one way that we check in with each other and ourselves is by thinking about what we call the mood meter. Everyone say mood meter. Mood meter. And you all know what this is. It's a way for us to check in and to kind of match how we are feeling to a specific color or box, and kind of put it into that color to match how we are feeling in that moment.
So let's go over and see what our different zones or areas of our mood meter are, and see if we can pick, using our lovely teachers out there, some of the emotions that are in each of our zones. So in our yellow zone, with a raised hand, what's one way we can feel? Oh, we're in the yellow zone. What's an emotion word? Ruben.
Happy.
Happy. And happy is our focus of the week. That's the emotion that we spoke about all week long. Let's go over our other zones. When we're in our red zone, what's one word to show how we might be feeling when we're in that area? William.
We will be mad.
Mad. Excellent. In the blue zone, our lower energy zone, how might we be feeling? Let's do 2 words for this one, because there's 2 pretty common ones.
Which one?
Sad.
Sad. And who has another one for our blue zone? Sad or Brooke?
Tired.
Tired would be a good word to describe the blue zone, yes. And then over here we have our green zone. What is a word to share how we're feeling if we're in the green zone? Eleanor? Calm or relaxed. Very nice. Okay, so as you know, every feeling is okay in our classroom, and all feelings are completely normal, and our feelings can change throughout the day. So this morning, we made sure to chart where we were feeling on our mood meter, but sometimes our feelings change, and that's okay. So let's do a check-in this afternoon as to how we are feeling and where we would be on our mood.
Okay, so as you can see there, that is the introduction and what that looks like in most classrooms as they begin their kind of check-in and plotting on the mood meter quadrant. I would like to go to the next snippet of that same lesson so you get a feel for what that looks like as students are sharing.
So where are we going to plot your face? What zone? So go to happy. Because we show each other that we care about it.
Would you like to share with your friends why you're in that zone or no? Yes, why are you in it too?
Because I miss my mom.
Nice, that happens, right? I can connect with that sometimes. All right, William. What zone
showing the namaste? Because what does green mean? Very nice. Go ahead and wipe your face. We have 4 friends to share. You guys are being so respected right now. You're showing your classroom mates that you care about them. Alexandra, come on up. Sophia wants to quickly share why she's in a green zone.
Because I did some yoga at home.
Oh, and that's one of our ways that we make sure that we stay in our green or yellow at school. Very excellent. Okay, Alex. Namaste. How are you?
So a few things that I just want to point out in that example. I really love how the kids talk about their emotions, except they are asked if they want to share why they're feeling that emotion, because I think it's important to acknowledge that not all students want to share why they're feeling that way. But it's also nice as a teacher to, if they don't want to share, you're able to kind of go back and check in with that student later to see if you can have a more personal conversation as to, probe why they were feeling that way, and talk about some regulation strategies. The other piece that I love about that is that if you notice, there was a student who was making connection with another student. So it's always wonderful when there's kind of visual cues that kids can use to show that they relate to someone. And that also shows me that they have a good understanding of that emotion. And lastly, in that fifth, one of the things that I love is the little one who came up that you saw last actually came up, and she did her little namaste pose to show that she was feeling calm. And that is one of the strategies that they use in that classroom. So I thought that was a great visual, and to just see how some of those things are used. So the last video I'm not going to play now, but it really goes over the different techniques and strategies that they talk about with their emotions, ways that we can regulate our emotions, doing deep belly breaths where we do breathing techniques by, smelling a flower, breathing in, holding it, exhaling deeply, focusing on all of those things. We're not going to play the next one. So this is what it looks like in a different kindergarten classroom, and I will take the time to play this video because I think it's important to see that it doesn't look exactly the same in every room, but that you can see that the kids are eager to share what this looks like.
Crisscross your legs, Bailey. All right, we're gonna do our mood meter and talk about how we're feeling. I'm gonna go first, and then we're all gonna take a turn, okay? All right. I'm feeling happy because the sun is shining and we're gonna get to go outside and play today in the sunshine. So that makes me feel happy. Ready? Geneva.
I'm feeling happy
Because
I love when it's Christmas.
it's almost time, right?
Yeah.
On our calendar. That makes you feel happy? Good news. Lupita.
I'm feeling sad
Why are you feeling sad?
because my dog is by himself.
Your dog is by himself at home? Well, that's okay to feel sad about that. When you get home, are you gonna see your dog? If you feel sad sometimes when your pets are at home, show the secret signal of me too. Yeah, look how many friends feel the same way you do. I feel that way too. Let's see, Eager.
I feel happy because it's gonna snow.
It might snow on Monday, right? We were talking about the weather. Sophia might have the snow on Monday. You love the snow? That makes you happy? If you love the snow too, you can do a little more. Crisscross your legs, Bailey.
So in that video, I think that one of the things that I love about the way Ms. Thorpe-Jordan uses her mood meter is that the kids actually have their faces that they then put in the pockets. And that is up throughout the day. So it's a wonderful tool to be able to monitor how students are feeling, and that at any time throughout the day, they can go in and move their actual picture into the quadrant and plot how they're feeling. And that can be a nonverbal way that we can recognize as a teacher that we need to check in with another student. So another piece of SEL that I really want to touch on today is that each month, starting this month, we've introduced a topic or monthly focus that we are using here in Elm. So right now, this month, we're talking about belonging. So we had our very first building-wide assembly last Friday. It was fantastic. We had teachers perform a skit that introduced the concept of belonging, but they modeled what it should not look like. And the kids were very excited to talk about the ways in which the teacher's skit modeled not showing belonging. And they shared with me some ways that they could change that behavior to include others. And then the teachers redid the skit that then modeled what belonging looks like in a specific situation. Going forward, I encourage students to actually come up with skits on their own that are specific to things that we have areas of need in here in Elm. For example, the playground is often a place that some students might feel left out, or in the cafeteria, now that there aren't assigned seats, making sure that everyone feels that they are part of the conversation, how we can include all of those things. But also talking about belonging in the sense of we all have different backgrounds, we have different cultures, we have different families, no family looks the same. So that feeling of being able to belong and be a bigger part of something, that we belong together here in Elm as a family. So one of the things that we focused on is that we are here. So be here, be you, and belong. Each month during these assemblies, we have a read aloud or a book of some kind that goes along with that focus. And then students will be recognized at the end of the month by adults in the building, which is wonderful. It's not just the teachers in the building. So when I say adults, it may be our amazing Doris in the cafeteria who has noticed a student showing the value of belonging in some way, or it might be one of our custodians who have witnessed something that a student has done to show that they understand belonging. So then at the following assembly in January, we'll recognize those individuals, which is also an opportunity for those individuals who are being recognized. The parents will be invited to attend the next assembly, which I'm really excited about. That's been a goal of mine, is just having that climate and culture of people feeling welcome within our building. Also, we did a lot about, we talked a lot at the assembly about it being a shared goal. So we have goals for ourselves, but we also can have goals together. So as a community and in Elm, we have to work together to make this sense of belonging really be a focus. So here are just some other ways that we really focus on social and emotional needs and learning within the classroom. I have a really brief clip of our pre-K students doing some mindfulness with Cosmic Kids Yoga. And I would like to share that with you. So what I love about that, what I love about that is hearing them laugh and have fun, using movement breaks for purposeful mindfulness. So, you know, using these yoga skills to help with mindfulness, emotional regulation. We have, you see other pictures of students practicing it in one of our other kindergarten classrooms, talking about different breathing techniques and different poses, but just talking about how it supports our physical and emotional well-being overall. I'm very excited for Lunch Bunch to have started a couple of weeks ago. So Lunch Bunch is a great social and emotional tiered support. It's I would consider it a tier 2. What that looks like is students are chosen by various teachers for different reasons, and they are invited to the school psychologist's office for a lunch bunch time. And it's really just a time that they focus on different social skills, get to know one another, work on developing friendships, handling emotions, working on problem solving. So it's really a way for the kiddos to have some social emotional learning built into some fun, engaging gameplay, cooperative play, and that will rotate in 6-week cycles. This, if you are a parent of an Elm student, they may have come home very excited to get a Golden Spoon ticket. So our Golden Spoon is kind of based on the golden rule of just, you know, being kind, but exploring that further with what that looks like in our cafeteria. So a cafeteria can be a time where there's a little less structure. Kiddos can have the freedom to converse with one another and have that fun and laughter and conversation, but it also is a time where it can get very loud. We want to make sure that everyone is being safe. Kids are sitting and eating, and we can, if they're sitting, we can appropriately monitor them. So it really goes back to safety, but in an amazing way. So with the Golden Spoon, kids can earn tickets when they are demonstrating different ways of being safe and being respectful, being responsible in the cafeteria. So always walking, cleaning up after ourselves, using an inside voice, raising our hand if we need to go somewhere, all of those things. So they receive a ticket and we keep track of those tickets. So don't worry if you've lost them, if they've brought them home. We actually tally them on a separate sheet. So we know that kiddos tend to lose those little things. But there are different level prizes. So they can choose to earn things from starting at 1 ticket or 3 tickets. Sometimes they want to save them for 5 tickets. It's been a great way that we also incorporate some math skills into the cafeteria. We talk about, okay, you have 3 tickets, you want to earn that, it's 10 tickets. How many more tickets do you need? However, whatever they're working towards. And it's also their own goal setting, like how many tickets they want to earn. So what does that look like? And then of course, it helps role model those positive behaviors for other students, because when other students see that their, peer sitting next to them got a golden spoon ticket, then they of course want one as well. So they try and model that behavior. In addition to earning prizes individually, they work as a group. You'll see we have another bulletin board right in the main hallway of Elm when you first walk in the doors. It's our Race to 50. So my one little friend there who's holding that big yellow spoon, which eventually will be bedazzled and filled with glitter. The class to reach 50 Golden Spoon tickets as a team gets to keep that with them in their classroom until the next group reaches the 50 tickets. And although they don't receive anything other than having that spoon in their classroom, they are all very eager to get to that 50 mark to have that amazing yellow spoon. So I'm really excited. The kids are really excited. It's definitely been effective in having some improved behaviors and sense of safety and community within our cafeteria. A little bit about some other ways that we support the social emotional learning within Elm. We have my one little friend there who is making a stress ball. That was done in one of our kindergarten classes. Very excited to be able to use it and explain how that helps as a strategy to be able to squeeze to help calm her down. We also have our giving tree. So when we talk about social emotional learning, we talk about how other people feel as well. So the giving tree is a great visual representation that students see every day, where they've been a part of contributing to families that we want to make feel better during the holiday season. Those of us who are less fortunate and could use some cheering up by having items donated that can put a smile on their face. And then we also worked on this week making holiday cards that the kids, we brainstormed different areas that we can donate these cards to and give to the kids suggested different homeless shelters or nursing homes in the area for just brightening up someone's day during this holiday season. And then I also wanted to put on there, tomorrow is our first of many, hopefully, parents' night out. It has been a huge success. We actually had to stop accepting students. We are at our max. The kids are really, really excited for this. When we talk about that feeling of it not just taking place during the school day, but it extending into our evening, that the families being involved, them having the opportunity to do something for themselves outside of the school day while the kids are still here participating in different exciting events. That is something that was a goal of mine, just trying to foster that climate of us all being connected as a community within the school day and outside the school day, and getting the parent-teacher organization involved in these things. They've been phenomenal. So I'm extremely excited for that amazing event tomorrow. And
so I'm going to speak to our wellness committee. So we host our wellness committee almost every other month, and some of the topics and subcommittees included are child nutrition, mental, emotional, physical health, and advocacy. And I welcome all parents of our community to join our committee if you're interested in learning a little bit more of how we roll out social emotional learning while using these 4 categories and integrating it into how we make our district a safe and welcoming place for our students. So if you're interested in joining our committee, you may contact me at my email listed on the slide along with my phone number and extension. But you can reach me easiest by just sending an email that you're interested in joining, and then I can send you more details regarding our wellness committee for Millbrook Central School District.
Thank you. So I have here some tips for parents. I also have some handouts I will be sending home with the students here at Elm. Some things that you can do at home, some things that you can do, with the school to help foster social emotional learning with the kiddos at home. So we can focus on strengths. So when your child brings home a paper or a project, just talking about what he or she did well, praising them on what they've done, really asking your children how they feel, just having that conversation about feelings and emotions at home and sharing how you feel with them. I have plenty of mood meters that I'm happy to make copies of to send home. If that's something that you're interested in, I can make that available on the website or have a link to it in the next bulletin that I send out, but I'm more than happy to print some out if you would like. This is a big one that you can do at home, which I work on myself. So being willing to apologize. So as parents, sometimes we have, I just find it challenging to apologize. I don't know why that is, but there's something to be said for being willing to apologize to your children if you said something that you didn't mean or you acted a certain way, because I think it's learning to apologize. Students need to learn how to apologize. And so us modeling that for them is really important. And reading books and stories together. So knowing that in school, we talk a lot about the emotions of characters in stories and what that looks like. So knowing that and making that connection at home and doing the same. So when you're reading a story with your kiddos, just talking about what that character might be feeling and what that might look like and how you recognized that. And I will be sending some of those home. So upcoming events, we don't have a date solidified, but we will be having a company called Up in Arms coming in. It is called Helping Drew, and it is a anti-bullying through a puppet show, which I'm really excited about. It's been very successful in other schools, and I'm extremely excited to have our kiddos here at Elm be able to experience that.
And in addition, we have an organization called CPCA, which stands for Child Abuse Prevention Center, who will be coming in to present with students 2 lessons on general safety and abuse prevention and bullying and digital safety tailored to our K-2 level students. So we're really looking forward to that. And those dates are February 23rd and 24th. And they will be coming to present for 45-minute periods in classrooms where they will be separated with kindergarten, first grade, and second. So there'll be small, intimate class settings, which will allow for room for conversation and room for interaction. So we're really looking forward to this event.
And at this time, I open it up to any questions that anyone might have.
Let's check. No open questions and nothing in chat.
So at this time, there are no questions and nothing in the chat, but I do encourage you to please feel free to call or email me. I do make it a priority to respond to my emails. I'm always willing to share my knowledge and experience with you, and I would love to support in any way that I can with anything that you feel you might need or that you're anything that I can do, really.
And I would like to echo what Mrs. O'Connell has stated, that, you know, we are very open to helping families in any way. And myself as a supervisor of student services, that does not just mean that, you know, I am supporting teachers and students. I'm also here to support parents. So if you have any questions regarding SEL in our district or any of the upcoming events that we're hosting, please do not hesitate to call my office line or to send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer any questions or to discuss any matters more when we can in this moment. So thank you.
And thank you for participating with me.
My pleasure.
Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.